studios in the Jennings building here on the campus of Dixie State University. It's time to get you all caught up on a week's worth of Red Storm sports. Welcome to the Dixie State Athletics Red Storm Roundup. Greetings and salutations as always. I'm John Potter, joined alongside by the host of the afternoon drive 4 to 6 on ESPN Sports Radio 106.1 FM, Devin Dixon. And Dev, a lot of down unfortunately this week, but also a couple of W's for Dixie State University sports, and we'll cover it all from football to volleyball to soccer's right here on today's episode.
Yeah, and obviously disappointing last Saturday night with the football team. It really was a gritty performance, even though it wasn't a loss. Just had to play uphill, and if they could just convert a couple fourth downs, eliminate some big plays, could have been a little bit different.
We'll also have some homecoming updates for this week. A brand new U is the homecoming theme for this week, so hopefully a brand new U and some W's to go alongside that for Dixie State Athletics sports. One of our teams heads out on the road. We'll also name our Northwestern Mutual Athletes of the Week sneak peek, one from volleyball, one from football. We'll let you kind of dissolve that and try to figure out who it is. But we'll start with last week's football game here at home. The first time the Storm have been home in a couple of weeks. And it ended up being a loss in what Devin kind of hit at the beginning of the pregame show for our radio coverage. It was a shootout, 46-34 the final score. Western Oregon getting their second win over the Red Storm this year. Griff Robles, a record-setting performance for Dixie State quarterbacks, throwing for 453 yards, added 3 touchdowns, had a couple of picks, which we'll break down in just a little bit. But two main targets offensively on the receiving core, again, Jodan Duncan and Mitch Fry for the second time in as many games, going over 100-yard mark. And then defensively, you had 2 great picks by Zach Christian leading the defense and 6 tackles overall. 3 guys had 6 tackles, but Zach Christian getting the nod over there. And Devin, you, as we said, you hit it in the pregame show. If you thought it was going to be a shootout, that Dixie State had to do a lot to overcome it. And unfortunately, they just fell a couple of possessions short. Yeah, shootouts have not been kind to the Red Storm, as you pointed out once I pointed that out. But I was very proud of the way the team played. And you can see by the numbers from Fry and from Duncan and from Robles that they're starting to really gel. There's a good chemistry. Unfortunately, now 2 straight losses. You know, they got those 2 straight wins and it really felt like they were turning the corner and they were going to rattle them off. And now 2 really heartbreaking losses, if you want to be quite honest. And it's tough on the coaches, it's tough on the kids, it's tough on everybody. But there's so many good things that are happening, it's almost sometimes not fair. Because as a coach or as a player, you're putting in the work, you're in the weight room, you're doing off-season conditioning, and the coaches are putting you in a good place on the field to make plays and win games, and it just doesn't happen sometimes. But they're really knocking on the door. The program's really coming forward, John. I'm serious when I say that. The GNAC race, unfortunately, with the Red Storm picking up their 4th loss in conference play, seems to be kind of waning away. It's going to have a lot of things go their way if they stay in the GNAC race. But the final 2 of the final 4 games at home, starting this week with homecoming, you go away for 2 games and then come back to close out your season against Central Washington, who seems to be in the GNAC race. So still a lot of opportunity in this final month of the season to really make a dent in the GNAC race. You may not take the title at the end of it, but there's still opportunity for the Red Storm to have some sort of factor in that race. You know, and I think the one thing that the Red Storm is gunning for is not necessarily to win a conference title, it's just to take it 1 game at a time. And let's get back on the winning streak, and let's do it in front of the homecoming crowd this week. And then maybe they'll get the opportunity to string 2 together. And then by that end of the season, maybe they'll be in a situation where they could beat Central, and who knows. So 1 game at a time, the theme right now for Brummy and the boys. And they're playing with pride, and they'll play with pride the rest of the season. You got some very proud seniors on this team. We'll have highlights of the game against Western Oregon coming up, as well as sports capsules from our other sports. Stick with us. More of the Red Storm Roundup after this quick timeout.
This is Titan 1-4. No signs of life.
Titan 1-4, hold your position.
What do you got?
Unmanned aircraft is identifying enemy sniper.
Copy that. Let's move. Thanks, Reaper 1-1. We got it from here.
Sensors coming off target.
Learn more at airforce.com.
Give your favorite athletes a competitive edge by enrolling them in an acceleration training package at Intermountain Sports Performance Training. Our exercise physiologists use scientifically based training protocols guaranteed to help athletes run faster, jump higher, and perform better than the competition. Unlevel the playing field. Learn more at dixieregional.org/acceleration or call 251-2256.
Welcome back to the Red Storm Roundup. He's Devin Dixon. I am John Potter. If you happen to miss out on last week's football game at Hanson Stadium, we've got you covered in 2 minutes or less as we take a look at the Western Oregon and Dixie State highlights from Hanson Stadium this past week. So this was the first big play, and Western Oregon loves big plays. This is the A.J. Hull pick six and gave Western Oregon a 14-3 lead at that time. Dixie State responds with Griff Robles finding Randon Willard for the first of his 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, Willard, just great hands. That was a precise throw, but because of the pick six, they had to play uphill the entire first half and most of the second.
Very dissimilar to what happened a week previously when the Red Storm had to lead the entire game. Here's the first of the big touchdown plays to Tyrell Williams, went for 74 yards and a touchdown. Western Oregon getting a bigger lead there. Here's Dixie State with a response as Griff Robles right through the middle of the pocket finds the pylon for a touchdown. So Dixie State closing ever so slightly as that goes. And then here's a big touchdown to James Depew, his one catch of the game, dragging defenders in for a touchdown. Western Oregon, again, played from ahead most of the game, and this was really one of the backbreakers. Bergman right in the middle of the pocket, finding Williams for a 64-yard touchdown score. That was the first play from scrimmage in the second half, Dev.
Yeah, and time of possession in this game was really irrelevant because of the big plays for Western Oregon.
Dixie State couldn't punch in the touchdowns, but Dylan Bischoff sure-footed, kicked through a couple of field goals in the ball game. And this is Devontae Hoffman, just a freshman, leaping over the end line for a score. Dixie State would respond with a beautiful touch pass from Griff Robles to Mitch Fry in the corner of the end zone. Trust us, it was a magnificent catch, showing some hops on that one for Fry. And then really the next big play for Dixie State coming in, Robles finding Mitch Fry, who jukes to the right, comes back in, cuts to the end line. That made it a 6-point game, very manageable. But then Hoffman, once again, his second touchdown of the game, going right up the gut, gave Western Oregon the 46-34 victory.
A couple of things, though, that really stood out in that game. I love the way Mitch Fry played. You could see he wanted the ball, and he had 7 catches in the game, and he wanted 10, 12. He wanted the 14 Jodan Duncan got, and he's very good with the ball after he gets it. They're different. Jodan will pound you. He's got a little sidestep, and then he'll finish with the bull rush or the stiff arm. Mitch has got more of the loose enough, and he likes to dart and weave and bob. But I really like the way and Willard and Antonio Morton was involved. We didn't see the backs involved out of the backfield as much. We didn't see Griff run as much in this game, and mainly because they were getting pressure on him with a 4-man rush. Rarely did they blitz. When they did, it was just a 1-man rush, and they were staying at home and spying on Griff most of that game. You did see the 1 rushing touchdown, but you know what? This offense played well enough to win. Defense really played in the second half, good enough to put the offense in position to go get the win. It just didn't happen.
For Dixie State, again, as we mentioned, Griff Robles, a record high 453 yards. That's the high for the GNAC, also a high for the Division II program at Dixie State. That's 30 yards better than then freshman quarterback Stephen Cantwell had in a game against Central Washington. You mentioned the offense having the opportunities to do so, but when you really look at a chance where Dixie State had the opportunity with the possession of the football, only down 1 score, Dev, late in that fourth quarter, just could not happen.
Yeah, it was 4th and 12. They decided to go for it. There was 5:37 on the clock. You just took like 7, almost 8 minutes off the clock, driving down the field to put yourself in position, and then you take a sack. Offensive line just breaks down. Griff tries to see a guy and just can't get it and let it fly. And maybe a shorter pass, a quicker pass. You hate to take a sack. You'd rather throw a pick. Give your guy a chance to go jump ball in the corner. We were talking about that before the show, but it is what it is, and hopefully they can go back to the drawing board and learn a little bit and start finding ways to execute on 4th down. You heard Coach Brumfield talk about it. Leading up to this game, we got to convert. We got to find ways to execute when we need to, and they weren't able to in that stretch play. They did fight back. They did, try to come back after that, but really that was the determining play of the game.
Well, let me put you on the spot. If you are in Coach Brumfield's shoes, do you go on 4th and 12 and go for a passing play in that opportunity, or with 6 minutes, a little bit less left to go, deep in your own end zone or deep in your own possession, Do you punt it away and hope for the field position battle?
You know what? Well, they would have kicked a field goal. It was 39. It was 40 to 34. We were down 6, and you just felt like how quickly Western Oregon was scoring. That if you could just take the lead, you never know. Dixie State could win that game. So you take the field goal. You still cut it to just a field goal deficit. But they ended up marching down and scoring a touchdown. So it kind of ended up being a washout and irrelevant. But I like the gutsy call. I like Judd Thompson, Coach Brumfield saying, go make a play. Unfortunately, though, it didn't, and you can play armchair quarterback.
1,100 yards of total offense combined between the two teams. A very entertaining ball game, but all in total, a loss for the Red Storm. We'll preview the matchup with Humboldt State in a couple of segments, but when we return, we highlight volleyball and softball as we look at their sports capsules. More of the Red Storm Roundup after this timeout on CEC TV.
We've been in business for 27 years. Our specialty, of course, is pizzas. We have calzone salads, pasta. We use whole milk mozzarella cheese. I think the most important thing that makes good pizza is the crust, and then the marinara sauce, and then fresh toppings.
It's great food. The price is reasonable. You come and try it. I promise you, you'll love it, and you'll come back.
Just come into Roy's and give us a try. It will be the best pizza you'll ever eat.
If you're in pain, give us a call. We use the latest technology to get you pain-free within 6 visits.
If we get you in early, we can actually help reverse the effects of the car accident now versus waiting and having to do more treatment.
This is Dr. Justin Poppy. Dinner and a movie on the doctor. Call now for a free consultation.
You're no dummy. Accidents hurt. You need to get in today or tomorrow to be pain-free. I'm Dr. Justin Poppy, 656-2888.
Someone once asked if I had put in a bench so that they had somewhere to sit as they're coming in. And to me, that's a waste of time and energy because all you do is dust it off as you come through. We've designed the pharmacy so you don't have to wait. As you come in, there might be a line, but within 10 minutes, we've got you out of our store.
Friendly service and a pharmacist who knows you by name. Stapley Pharmacy, your complete family pharmacy. We'll have you out the door in 10 minutes.
Welcome back to the Roundup. Time to catch up on all the rest of the sports in fall and out-of-season exhibition schedules. So with our sports capsules, we mentioned softball in the close of the last segment. They're playing fall ball exhibition games. Got a couple of wins against the College of Southern Nevada this past weekend. Also baseball getting a win against Salt Lake Community College. So good fall seasons thus far for Coach Simpkins and Coach Fadenauer's squads.
Might I add just real quickly, was it 8 softball players on Coach Simpkins' team that were preseason academic All-Americans?
Smart and talented. Smart and talented are our softball players. So congratulations to them. And of course, we'll have all of their season stuff when they come along in the warmer months of the spring. Time to hit our out-of-town sport capsules. We'll start first with our volleyball team and a nice couple of wins back at home, Dev, for the volleyball team. A 3-0 sweep of Notre Dame Dana Muir, and then last Saturday, a 3-0 sweep of Holy Names. Those teams combined have 4 wins on the season, so a chance to really build some confidence because the girls have a tough test ahead of them. They're now 11-7 overall, 8-4 in the Pac West, and they get to head to the wonderful, beautiful Hawaii Islands for a 3-game stretch starting Thursday. A couple of winnable games before they have what's really the showdown this Saturday night at BYU Hawaii.
Yeah, I saw Pac West honoring Maddie Rex, though. She's been playing tremendous. Not the only one, though. The team has really fought back after hitting a little bit of a tough patch about a week and a half ago, but now back in the win column, taking that momentum overseas.
Hilo, overseas?
Over the Pacific Ocean.
Over the Pacific Ocean. Still technically America,
It is
but
a sea,
you know.
right?
Hilo 6-10 on the season, so a chance to go over to the Big Island and get a win. Hawaii Pacific kind of, as I've said a couple of teams this year, kind of the schizophrenic team in the Pac West. They have a good record, 13-6 overall. They've got a win against BYU Hawaii, but they've also got some really bad losses. So maybe the Red Storm catch them on a bad night. And then the showdown against the 5th-ranked Lady Seasiders. The only loss BYU Hawaii has had this year has been to Hawaii Pacific. So it'll be a good test for Dixie State, who's already knocked off a nationally ranked team this year in Fresno Pacific, to try to go into the Cannon Activity Center at BYU Hawaii and pick up a big W. So good luck to Robin Felder and the crew as they travel over to the Hawaiian Islands and hopefully pick up some big Ws. We transition now to men's soccer, who, well, the slide unfortunately continues for Danny Ortiz's squad and their men's soccer team, a loss to Azusa Pacific last weekend, 2-1 here at home. Jordan Steed picking up a late goal in the 88th minute. But you look at their last 5 contests, Dev, 0-4-1 is definitely not going to get it done. For the expectations they had with a young team, it doesn't seem to be panning out in the mid and end part of their season.
Well, let me put you on the spot for a minute. If you put your finger on it, what would you say the biggest reason is? Is it just inexperience to a certain extent?
I don't think it's a lack of inexperience now. I think it's just a lack of execution at times. The first goal against Azusa Pacific was a mistake. It was a handball in the box. So it led to a penalty kick, and one of the Cougars' leading scorers put it in for a 1-0 lead. A second goal got them up, but you give credit to the younger guys, the Jordan Steeds, the Michael Grays, freshmen on this team, who are really playing substantial minutes, especially Steed, who got his second collegiate goal. So you give those guys a lot of credit. They've got a couple more matches here at home before they close out their season. So for the seniors on the squad, the Josh Cooks, the David Patakis, the Alex Lawhons, they have a limited amount of games to try to cement their legacy here. But for the young guys who are trying to build this program and get it to where Danny Ortiz wants it to be, they still have those opportunities to build chemistry that should help the Red Storm as they continue on in Pac West play.
Let's hope they can finish strong. I mean, it's tough when you're 0-4-1 in your last 5 matches. Let's hope they can finish strong and try to get some momentum going into next year.
Speaking of momentum, the women's soccer team stumbling a little bit as well. A tough 1-0 loss at home this Saturday against Azusa Pacific. An early goal for the Cougars held, but it really was a game that Dixie State had the momentum. They outshot the Cougars, who have 5 straight shutouts in a row, and really a couple of chances late ended up either off a crossbar or just over the top of the net or into the goalkeeper's hands. So 1-0, yes, a loss ultimately, but momentum-wise, it really was a game that Coach Bingham and the girls thought they should have won.
Yeah, and I'm really impressed with Coach Bingham. I said this last week. I mean, record-wise, they're right in the middle of the pack and in the hunt, really, for the title still, if they can finish strong. I mean, I don't know if they're going to get there, but that's the goal, and that would be an amazing goal to accomplish. She's a winner. That's the one thing I know, and she's got the kids believing right now.
Still a chance, tied for second in the Pac West for the women's title this year. Time to name our athletes of the week. We kind of teased it that it was going to be a volleyball player and a football player, so let's officially unveil who gets the nods. For the women, it's Nicole Kohler from the volleyball team. Solid outing, helping the Storm to a 2-0 week in the Pac West. 11 kills and just an astronomical hitting percentage of .667 against NDNU last Monday night. And then 9 more kills and 4 digs in a win against Holy Names. A junior transfer, someone Coach Felder would hope would come in and pay immediate dividends, and she has. So congratulations to Nicole Kohler as our female athlete of the week. On the men's side, it's record-setting. It's easy to call. We've had discussions in the past. This week, pretty solid. Griff Robles, the second-time winner of the Pac West, or pardon me, the Athlete of the Week for the Dixie State University Athletics. Single game and GNAC single game so far, 453 yards passing record through 3 touchdowns, 2 to Mitch Fries, we saw in the highlights, as well as 1 to Randon Willard.
Yeah, it was sacked 5 times. There could have even been more numbers for Griff, but an outstanding performance. Give a nod to some of those receivers, though, for making big plays, helping him out.
Yeah, Mitch Fry and Jodon Duncan having back-to-back 100-yard games as well on the receiving end. So congratulations to Nicole Kohler from the volleyball team and Griff Robles from the football team as our Northwestern Mutual Athletes of the Week. When we return, we highlight homecoming festivities, including the football game against Humboldt State and where our soccer and volleyball teams will be playing. He's Devin, I'm John. More Roundup right after this.
Why is Salisbury Homes the #1 builder in southern Utah? It's simple. Unmatched quality, more selection, and happy homeowners. You'll love seeing prices less than buying an existing home. Amazing locations and a 45-day build schedule. The time to build is now, before prices go up. And with Salisbury, choose from dozens of floor plans, all beautifully designed, and you pick your own colors and finishes. Visit alwaysaffordablehomes.com today or call Bunny at 801-472-4734. Salisbury Homes.
Okay, you're all set.
Wow, that was easy.
Man, I'm having a hard time working. I know, this Monday's killing me. Monday already? Man, what got into that guy?
Oh, he got high-speed internet from InfoWest.
Really?
He's making us look bad.
InfoWest, the internet people.
The more you ride bikes, the better life is. The deals from Bicycles Unlimited are rider-friendly. Since 1974, Southern Utah's premier bike shop has certified bike technician repairs, tires, tools, tune-ups, and more. With the largest array of bikes for all kinds of terrain. Their inventory is huge with top brands, road bikes, mountain bikes, comfort bikes, all kinds of bikes. For maximum fuel efficiency, minimum pollution, or to maintain weight control, come to Bicycles Unlimited, downtown on the corner 90 South, 100 East. Don't forget a helmet.
Roundup continues here on CEC Television. I'm John, he's Devin, and a whole new you is the homecoming theme for this year. A lot of great festivities, Dev, coming up this week, including sports. And we'll start out with women's and men's soccer, as they will be at home closing out, at least for the women homestand and their home schedule this Saturday against Point Loma, a 9 a.m. early kickoff for the women of Dixie State. Point Loma is going to come in tied with Dixie State in a three-way tie in second place with 19 points overall in the conference. So really a tough matchup for the Red Storm to close out their home schedule, and also a chance to bid farewell to the one senior on the club, Danica Pickett. It should be a good festivity. Also in that game during halftime, as well as during the football game, we plan on celebrating and congratulating on the 10-year anniversary, the 2003 National Junior College Championship women's soccer team will be here for homecoming, Dev.
Oh, that's fun. I remember that year, and Coach Huddleston and the girls getting the national championship. That was an exciting time, and I can't believe it's already been 10 years. I'm getting old, JP.
Well, we're all getting old. It's day by day. But again, the 10-year anniversary of that team, of course, will be celebrated, as well as senior day for the women's soccer team. Men play at 11:30 against Point Loma as well. It will be a chance for the Storm to try to knock off the Sea Lions on their route to hopefully a Pac West championship, as the Sea Lions have 15 points right in the stretch as well. Volleyball, unfortunately, as we said, not going to be at home for homecoming. They're in the Hawaiian Islands starting on Thursday. Really 3 straight matches back-to-back. You travel on Wednesday, get to the Big Island, play Hilo, a chance to pick up a win. Then you go right over to Oahu to play Hawaii Pacific and BYU Hawaii on back-to-back nights. It'll be a really tough 3-game stretch. But if you go over and get 2 wins and maybe even 3 wins, Dev, you could really cement yourself and get you right back in to the top echelon of the Pac West.
The question I have is, are they happy to miss homecoming week knowing that they're going to Hawaii for the volleyball girls? I mean, that's a pretty good trade-off. It sucks they got to miss homecoming, but to go to Hawaii?
Speaking for myself, it's Hawaii. I'm not going to lie, it's nice. So we'll get you up to date on what happens on that Hawaiian road trip when their volleyball team comes back next week. And of course, the football game kind of closing out the homecoming festivities. 6 p.m. kickoff against Humboldt State, a team that the Red Storm beat a month ago over in Arcata 49-24. Devin and I have your coverage on Sports Radio 106.1 FM, while Ryan Forsey and Colton Yak will have the coverage on CEC TV, which is Baja Channel 22 for all of your TV coverage. And Devin, this is really a big chance for the Storm to get another win against a Humboldt State team picked to win the conference at the beginning of the year, stumbling in with an 0-7 overall record.
Well, I'm not big on predictions, but this is a must-win situation. And I think the Storm are capable of putting the hammer down and really putting on a show during homecoming. Jack's been banged up. Storm coming in limping after 2 losses, but if the offense continues to play well, the defense continues to be opportunistic, if they can just clean up and eliminate big plays and conversions on 3rd and 4th down, this team could have won the conference a couple weeks ago. Now they need help, and they got to win out. And that's the bottom line, and it starts with this homecoming game. You can't overlook the Jacks, though, JP. You just can't overlook anybody in this GNAC conference. Top to bottom, any given day, somebody can surprise you.
It'll be a tough test for the Jacks, who have to, of course, travel from Northern California. No real easy way to get from Northern California up in the Redwoods here to St. George. And hopefully the Red Storm can look at the footage, because Humboldt State took Azusa Pacific to the limit last week, 21-13. Yeah. They did give up a lot of running yards to the talented running back Terrell Watson of APU. But a chance for the Red Storm to try to get that offense back on track before they'll head out on the road for 2 weeks. Before we say goodbye, a couple of more homecoming events to talk about. The parade, which will start near campus and head towards the Tabernacle, starts at 10 a.m. And of course, we always have the tailgate over at the Alumni House across from the entrance of Hanson Stadium, starting at 4 o'clock. So again, come out, enjoy the homecoming festivities, free food, free events, and of course, as always, football going on at 6 o'clock at the stadium. Deb, it's a fun week. Yeah. It should be for everybody, including basketball, who has tip-offs, getting ready for scrimmages. We'll hit a lot more of the hoop stuff starting next week, as we anticipate of having both coaches, Judkins and Turner, in to talk with us next week. It should be an interesting time for both men's and women's basketball teams.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, talking with Juddy, talking with Coach Turner, they're very excited about the programs. They're both anticipated to flirt with the Pac-West Championship this year. So it's going to be fun as you get that month span where you get double up. You get fall sports and then winter sports kind of intertwining there, and it's always fun.
So we have a lot to look forward to in the upcoming weeks, but of course, enjoy homecoming. Enjoy a brand new you as we get ready for a festivity-filled full week of sports, camaraderie, everything here at Dixie State. A brand new, well, me and him. He is Devin Dixon. I am John Potter. We'd like to thank everybody on the CEC crew here helping us out, getting this roundup recorded for you this afternoon. We'll talk to you next week again, a big basketball preview with both head coaches John Judkins and Katharina Turner joining us. This has been the Red Storm Roundup on CEC TV. We will catch you next time. Enjoy this weekend.
The preceding program was produced by the Community Education Channel and is available online free at vodov.com.